not a doctor, and today I gotta make this video quicker. Before anything, this is sponsored by My Wallet. It's not a brand, it's my wallet over there sitting by the shoes. This was all my money, my time, everything. It always is. This is my third video, duh. But I always like a little clarity, and I always like you guys to know. That way, for whatever reason, if that ever does change, you know. But no, this was all me, all my money. And today, we're gonna be talking about plows. Cool. We're talking about plows. Plows are awesome. Plows are really fun. Plows, to most people, are a waste of money. And quite frankly, if you live in Arizona, you're not gonna be watching this video, or Florida. Maybe Texas, because you guys randomly get snow every decade, once. We're gonna be talking about plows. And kind of how, the good and the bad. There is a lot of good, because realistically, what I love to call the hunt for fun, that's what we're on. This is, you're spending money, I shouldn't say wasting, you're spending money to get something that's just fun. Worse performance, maybe a little scale, but at the end of the day, this is just for you, this is just for fun. All you have to do is take your front bumper off, because every single one I've seen, besides being a really, really special V-plow, mounts right off your original bumper. And all it does is just slide right in. You take your two bumper screws, pop them in, hold it in place. And there's a couple different types of plows if you haven't seen. So we have what we call a straight edge. That's this one here. All it is just because it's a straight. They call this just straight blade. Technically this is your edge, but straight blade. Then they also what they call a V-plow, and it looks like this when it sits in the front, and it can actually open up the outer arms. Those are really cool. They are so rare when they come up for sale, and they're not cheap. They are not cheap. They require extra servos, and they are quite expensive. I'd love to get my hands on one or print one, but time will tell on that one. But they're really cool. I opted about 5 years ago. That's how old this thing is. About 5 years ago, I opted to get just a straight blade, and the only thing extra I wanted was that you could turn it left or right. And at the time, it didn't make sense at all, because 4, 5, 6 years ago, you could get a regular plow that was just up and down straight blade. That was like 38 bucks, and they're all from China at the time. I think they're a little bit better now. I think you can get them from Amazon. I'll double check. They were like 38 bucks. To get this was like $79. It was over double. It was so frustrating. I was so frustrated about it, but I believe they're a lot better now. And at that time, that didn't even come with servos. I still had to go and put my own servos on it. And keep that in mind too, is each axis you have, so if you got left and right, up and down, and then you got your V's, just remember, you're gonna need a servo for every single one. And that's where a majority of the price comes to these. That's why, in my opinion, get a frame. Just get the frame by itself. Save yourself some money and go buy some like Endure, not even Endure, just, the blue cases most people call them, just the Amazon specials. 25 kilogram, 35 kilogram, 30 kilogram, whatever. Just get a set of those. You don't need anything crazy. The only reason why these two are in here is that these servos are terrible, and over time, these were not able to straighten themselves. That's the only reason why they're 70 kilograms. So don't think I was going hog wild and I was going crazy and thinking, oh, I'm gonna put the crazy, no, it had nothing to do with that. It was just because these could no longer center on a vehicle, but it can center a small little aluminum plow. Another thing to be weary of, as soon as you get one, now some come together for the most part, some will come separated. Make sure you have Loctite. Order some Loctite. Preferably blue. Now, I'm usually a huge purple guy. I want purple so that it's easily to be able to take it back off. But these loosen. Before I even started this video, these two were loose. This is always loose because I got to do a new spacer. But even stuff back here is loose. I mean, it's metal on metal. Golden rule, always, always Loctite. Now, my Loctite is probably 2 years old, so it's probably half a battle on its own. But as soon as you get it, before you even take it out, because the first thing you're gonna do is lose a screw if you don't. So just keep that in mind, because they don't give you Loctite. So purple or blue, preferably more to the blue. The nice part about a lot of these is that you can adjust the frame up and down. What you're going for is that you want this frame to be as flat as possible with the ground. That is not possible on this because it's on Traxx. If you're running tires and chains, you're golden, because at that point, the frame will sit a lot closer to just flat. What you're looking for is you want this blade, the blade edge down here. Blade edge is your small piece right here. You want that to be as flat with the ground as you can. The reason why is that is you're plowing. So like this here, this is pretty flat as far as just being flush horizontally. To get it where I'm clearing snow is down like this. We're already starting to push down. The issue is, like, we have a little sidewalk out front that has these just little ridges that I can't stand because of this. What happens is that the plow will grab it and the vehicle will do this, and you will start bending stuff. You'll start breaking stuff. Plows are pretty resilient. I mean, this is just a thin piece of aluminum. This is just some metal in here. But I can assure you, I've beaten the ever-living out of this thing. And for what it is, it's taken it all the way through. Yeah, stuff loosens. And you got to remember that that's what the plow is going to do. You're going to be hitting small, even crushed stone rocks. Some get frozen to the ground. You're going to smack it off of it. All of a sudden, you're going to see the plow jump. I mean, really, it's what it's meant to do. So that's why I say, get inexpensive servos. The servos will last you a long time. That's the cool part about this. The servos will last you a very long time because even though you're really beating on it, it's really not that much. You know, you would get more stress out of putting even a 1.55 tire on versus something like this because it's so thin. It's double backed back here where it's just a straight through and it has two different operating on both sides. So it works really well. Get an inexpensive one unless you're feeling frisky and you want to go crazy, but get inexpensive ones. Now, it is the hunt for fun. As always, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. If you get snow, it's super fun. Now, keep in mind, it's for the different types of snow work better. And for anybody that lives in a nice place with that sun, you can just check off for a minute because I gotta talk to people that get snow. Powder, awesome. That slushy, when it gets real heavy, actually works pretty good. It's when you get that weird middle ground where it's just warm enough that it packs and it becomes thick like a brick, then this thing starts to struggle, even with the Traxx, just because you don't have enough weight behind it. But even still, you get enough speed, you're fine. You got to keep in mind, too, that you're going to need a receiver that can handle this. So that's finally the third part. If you only have a 2-position switch, you can do up and down on 2-position. 3-position is kind of silly. I have 3-position on this, and it's so annoying because the up and down you move more than the left and right. So really, just if you have a 2-position switch, just get a single straight blade. You don't need it to be left or right. It'll still do what you want. Yeah, left and right is easier because you can push the snow sideways and it doesn't stop the vehicle as much. But depending on price, you know, it might be a lot more expensive and you got to buy another servo. So how I have mine, they're both on 3-position switches. It just happened to be that way. I ran out of 2-position switches on this. So it ended up being two 3-position switches. All I do is I have 2 extensions that come, and this is just a suggestion. You can do it any way you want, but this is just how I do it. I got my box. I had to get a much bigger box because of all my accessories in the BEC. Besides that, what I would do with my original receiver box is have 2 extensions that come out. Really, you should just have extensions for every channel because that box is kind of a pain in the butt to pull wires through in and out at the front piece. So if it was me, just run extensions, especially for at least these 2. That way when you're done, you don't have to worry about it. The biggest thing for me is that when I do this, I lose my front servo, my winch servo. So I end up using that same channel. When you are setting this up, turn those endpoints down to 0 or 5. Turn it down to single digits. Do not leave these servos or these 2 channels at 100%. This sideways. So let's talk about, so when I do this, it's 28% on one side and then 35 on the other. It's slightly offset because of a sub trim. The up and down is 18%. And the last thing you want, because it allows it, is that these servos can touch. And the last thing you want is them to just smack into each other. So, and that, or you don't want to twist this into oblivion in whatever have you. So crank those suckers down all the way down into the single digits and then slowly bring them back up if you can. If you can't, look at a different receiver or maybe not a plow because it won't do 100. 100's just crazy. It's way too much. Last but not least, your ground clearance is absolutely terrible. Who cares? You got a plow on it. But I gotta say it. It's bad. But who cares? You have a plow. You're going for fun. But the ground clearance is terrible. So remember, when you have your plow on, you're not going to be driving through the snow in your front yard. You're going to be in your driveway pushing snow. So that's why I say, you know, the extensions are great because then you can just unplug this, take the 2 screws off, and then go drive around in the snow when you're ready. I think that's it. This was going to be a short video because I'm really talking about one individual thing. So let me know if 10-minute videos on, because really there's not much more to talk about. I go into heavier springs in the front and stuff like that, but really we're kind of sending it home anyway. I've already talked as much as I can. This video is going to be more fun watching the B-roll, honestly, than anything probably. So let me know if this is something you like more of, because I got plenty of small things I can just talk about. Like I've got the shocks for the Mini Slash here that I can talk about. They're just in Joras because of the trailer. You know, I'm definitely gonna do a video on this motor. It's probably gonna be around the same runtime. There's not too much to talk about these things, but I still think they're fun to talk about. I still think they're awesome for just showing you how much fun you can have. So let me know if this is something you like. As always, thank you for watching. If you're back from any of the other videos, thank you even more. I really hope to see you in the next one, and good night.